I was a scientist, and as a scientist, we don't bring spirituality and mind into the story. It's all genes and cells and molecules and all that. And my research on stem cells revealed that while I was teaching in medical school that genes control life, my research revealed that it was the environment in which the cells lived that controlled the cells. It was outside information coming into the cells. That I was working on trying to understand the mechanics from a molecular point of view. How does an environmental signal control biology? And I was working not on the genes, I was working on the skin of the cell, the membrane. And the membrane is a liquid crystal semiconductor with gates and channels. When I wrote that down, there was a pause, and I said, I read something exactly like that. And right next to my first computer, a Macintosh, was a book from a simple book of understanding your microprocessor. And I opened it up and I said somewhere, and I opened it right in the introduction. It said, a chip is a crystal semiconductor with gates and channels. And I thought, oh, what a coincidence. They have the same definition. And then in a couple of seconds, I started to say, wait a minute. One for one, the parts are exactly the same. I said, oh my God, the membrane is a computer chip. And on the surface of the cell are like keys, like on a typewriter. And I started to realize, oh my goodness, the environment is typing on the surface of the cell information that went into the cell and control the genetics and the behavior. And then I realized I am outside of the computer, typing on the keyboard, and the information is coming up on the computer. And then I said, oh my God, the keyboard on the surface of your cells has a number of keys that represent a PIN number, a personal identification number, and no two of you have the same keys on that. Each of us have a different PIN number to get into our own cells. It's our personal identity, and these are the keys. And I realized, oh my God, well, we've been focusing on these, what are called receptors, as the source of identity. I realized, no, it's what's activating, what's typing is the identity. And my identity is not in the cell. My identity is a signal coming from the environment, typing on the keyboard. And then I said, oh. And the first thing that hit me was, I can't die. I'm not even in here. And that instant of fear, which all of us have in our deepest bottom belief system, is a fear of our mortality. And when that moment of like, I can't die, tears started rolling down my face. And this joy was an ache in my heart that I've never experienced before. I spent 40 years in my head. That's how I became an academician and a research scientist. And when this moment hit, it was my heart that blew open. I refer to it as a heart orgasm. And and that was the first time I experienced my heart as an essential part of my own conscious existence. Yes, I saw this. I understood it. It was beautiful. It was in my conscious awareness, my knowledge, my learning. And I got so excited. I wanted to tell people. And I couldn't wait to get some people together. And I'd bring them into the room and I'd say, let me explain this mechanism. Because if you understand this mechanism, you'll understand you are the most powerful creator that exists. And I couldn't wait to tell them. And I'd get up there and I'd tell them. And then the audience would look at me and go, you know, Lipton, your life doesn't look that good if you really think that's true, because your life doesn't represent anything you just said. And there was a pause, and I started to realize, it's like, it was then the most important lesson, number 2, and that was this: I don't care how much knowledge is in your head. If that knowledge doesn't go into your subconscious, your life will stay exactly the same as it was. You can be the brightest, smartest academic. And I say, fine, did it change your life? And the answer is no. You have to take the knowledge that you are walking within your conscious mind and put that knowledge into your subconscious programming. And when you do that, you are all powerful in the creation of your own life. And so just walking around and being able to recite all these wonderful sayings and things that you hear from all the wonderful teachers that we have, and you say, oh yes, I remember that, that's a good quote, that's a nice quote, oh that's a wonderful saying. It's irrelevant until that saying becomes part of your program, because now you are living from the saying and not talking about the saying. It changed everything. Why? Because instead of having to chase after life, after this understanding, things came to me. The light will bring it to you. The only thing that's in your way of the light is a block in your belief that other people have put into your programming. You take your knowledge that you have, make it your subconscious program, and you will manifest all of the wonderful spiritual wisdom that you have heard throughout your whole life. Is not words now. It is life and behavior, and that's our destination. You as an identity are in your conscious mind. You actually are in there. That's where your personal identity is. And we have a tendency to say, if I talk to myself, I'm going to give myself a good talking to, and I'm going to change that subconscious. I say to myself, Bruce, don't do that again. Do this, don't do that again. And then I say, it's very frustrating. Why? You can talk until you're blue in the face, and nothing will change. I say, why? And the answer is, and this is the most important part, there is nobody in the subconscious. There's nothing there. It's a machine. It's a record playback device, so you can talk to the machine as much as you want. If you don't know how to push the record button, nothing's going to happen. So then I say, how do you change the program? I say, how did you get the program? The first 7 years, your brain was in theta, hypnosis. So I say, you want to change the program? Every night when you go to bed, just as your mind disconnects, just as you fall into sleep, your brain is now operating in theta. So if you put earphones on your head and you play a tape, a program, a CD of what you want, as your conscious mind disconnected, your subconscious is downloading. So you just play that tape as you go to bed, and after a number of playings, your subconscious will learn the new program without even your conscious being involved. That's number one. After age 7, how do we put a program in? Repetition. How did you do anything? You repeated it over and over again. How long did it take you to learn the alphabet? How many times did you have to go from A to Z before you could remember the whole alphabet? When you drove a car, you didn't know how to drive a car until you did what? You practiced. You repeated. So if you want to change a program, you put into your mind a repetition. And it's not recognize this, what you want to change doesn't exist. So when you put in the new program, it'll sound strange. So let's say you are sick, you have a disease, and I say, what program do I want? I am healthy. I go, it doesn't sound right. I know I'm sick. I say, I don't care. There's a saying in English, fake it until you make it. What that means is, if you want to be happy, just keep in your mind, I am happy. I smile, even if you have to force a smile. I am happy, I'm smiling. I say, repeat this and repeat this. And guess what? After a short time, it becomes a habit. And when you're in that habit, you don't even have to think, I am happy. The new habit will keep you happy all the time because that's the new program. So A, hypnosis is how you learn the first 7 years. B, after age 7, you create new programs by repetition. Both of these are time consuming, so I'm going to leave you with the last one and just suggest something. There's a new psychology called energy psychology. And energy psychology, different modalities, but you can reprogram your subconscious mind. You can change a program in about 10 minutes. You can reprogram a belief you've had your whole life. Because if you know how to push the record button, and that's what those new modalities are about, if you can push the record button, you can download the new behavior in less than 10 minutes. If you want information on these modalities, my website is simply brucelipton.com. Under the title Resources, I have 20 or more different modalities listed. You can look them up. Every one of them can be used to change a belief in minutes. And that's because we don't have a lot of time to make changes. If we change our programs, we can create the exact life that you want on this planet.